I want pictures. I want video of the perp walk. Did y'all hear that Donnie Limon got arrested? He got taken into custody. Yes, that's right. Donnie Sweet Britches Limon got taken into custody. Listen, if you mess around and poke the bear, you gonna get bit. What do y'all think about that? Homeboy is now in custody and having to figure out with his lawyers how to get himself out of the mess that he got in. See, this is the result of you liberals and you progressives thinking that you can do and say whatever you want to do and say, and everybody else has to just take it. Well, not in Donald Trump's America. Sorry, Donnie Limon, you are now a criminal. Donnie Sweet Britches Limon. Yep, that's right. So we'll see what happens, but I want my perp walk. I want pictures. I searched for pictures and it's not there. We'll see what happens.
You know what? I agree with him. We need some pictures. We need something to look at. We need some videos of them snatching him up at the Grammys while he's reporting. That's what we would love to see. Because you know what? Don Lemon went a bit too far. Let's watch the next video.
Don Lemon has been indicted by a grand jury in Minnesota and has been charged with a conspiracy to deprive rights and a violation of the FACE Act, which prohibits interfering with someone's right to worship. I feel so relieved. I was starting to think nothing would happen after these judges was shooting down the complaints, you know? I am so grateful because what I saw with my own eyes was totally unacceptable. And there absolutely needs to be some accountability for that type of behavior. So now we know why Pam Bondi's been in Minnesota. This comes after 16 arrests, including the Bananas and Rice girl. Oh, okay. This is classified as a win. It has been very difficult on the sidelines, watching people break the law day after day with seemingly no type of accountability. So my prayer is, this is the beginning. Things are starting to turn around. Get your popcorn.
It's something about to happen. And we're seeing everything being unfolded right now. We're also seeing, Tim Walz folding big time. But, we have yet to see what's to come. But I could guarantee you this. Every conservative right now on the face of the earth, we got our popcorns ready.
After this stunt, do y'all think that this nigga Don Lemon didn't learn his lesson? Because he thought he got smooth away. He did not think that his ass was going to get arrested. But they was not playing with him. They used the Ku Klux Klan Act, and they went and got him this morning. Do y'all think he learned his lesson? Because even his response after it all happened, he thought he got smooth away, right? I think this is the funniest shit ever. Some people were, it's wrong, authoritarianism. No, I don't think so. I think he got what he deserved, all right? You don't run in somebody's church and disturb it the way he did. And he was real smug about it, too. That's the part that killed me, how smug he was while he was in their church doing what he was doing. But he got what he deserved. Arrested this morning. I think that shit is absolutely hilarious. But do you think he's going to do... He probably gonna get out and go on a straight campaign. I guarantee it. He's gonna get out and go on a straight campaign because he's a prima donna. That's what he is at heart. He do all of this stuff for attention. And this time he got the attention that he deserved.
This guy is 100% spot on. He loves attention. That's Don Lemon. He's a straight sassy dude, y'all. He loves attention. And we've been seeing his attention seeking behind all over social media, doing street interviews after he got fired, packed up from CNN, started doing street interviews and, agitating people who's out there and making a ruckus until he got himself in the wrong situation. Now, I do have something I want to show y'all. This is going to bring a lot of clarity for anybody who have any type of question about the law and Insurrection Act and the FACE Act and whatever act it is, right? But I'm going to show y'all something that I pulled up from Google that's going to make a lot of sense. Let's watch the next video.
America, I love you, but you gotta wake up. The fact that they are using culture wars in order to distract us from their own wrongdoings. They're taking advantage of all of us, obviously. People are leaving the Democratic Party in droves because they are waking up to the fact that they play on your heartstrings on purpose. Democrats give their voters a false sense of moral superiority. We're the party that cares for people. We're the party that's welcoming. We're the party that loves everybody. America was founded on immigrants. Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. But immigrants who came here legally and contributed to the system. When you import a mass amount of people, at the same time, you're doing it on purpose. You're doing it to destabilize the country's systems, the infrastructure. And then you rely on those same people that you imported for votes to keep you in power. This is why they had open borders. They were importing voters that they could use to launder money and funnel it back to them. Americans are struggling. And people who can come over here who have not paid a dime into our system get to reap all the benefits using our tax dollars. People who are defending this, you're okay with this? People who are okay with this because they are brainwashed into thinking they are the party of morality. There's a reason people become more conservative as they get older, because their frontal lobe develops and you start thinking with your brain instead of your heart. Facts over feelings, people. Facts over feelings.
And that's so factual, 100% factual. The older you get, the more you realize that you've been told a lie for years. That's what happened to me. When I was younger, look, as a black person in America, now shout out to all my white brothers and sisters, but as a black person in America, we were taught to be Democrats. And then what they told us was the Republicans are racist and this and that. And the older you get, you begin to realize when you start develop that, free thinking mentality, for yourself, you begin to realize that, you know what, that was all a lie. Let's get to the next video.
It's good to see that Don Lemon is finally going to face consequences for him and the leftists storming the church that day in Minneapolis. And I know a lot of the left is going to say, oh, it's because of his gender. It's because of his race and who he decides to cohabitate with. No, it's because he's a shitty journalist who live streamed the whole thing and knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen. That's why he's being arrested. I mean, wasn't it Don Lemon who said you're not above the law no matter who you are? I mean, apparently, rules for thee but not for me when it comes to the Democrat Party. I mean, we've been hearing January 6th for the last 4 years. I mean, it's about time that these people are held accountable. And can you imagine if it was a group of conservative patriots walking into that church, disturbing the church services? By now, they'd be all identified and all under the jail. I mean, ask the January 6ers.
Wow. I dropped the tags for each creator down in the description below in case you want to go to their channels and follow them and, connect with them or whatnot. But shout out to all these creators right here. Let me say this. He said something earlier, and it resonates with what I said in a past video. And like I said, I'm going to show you something real quick, so hang in there. He said Don Lemon is a shitty journalist. I said it in a couple of videos ago. I said, I never knew I would say this about Don Lemon. And this was right after Don Lemon and those, thugs went up in the church. I said in my video, I said, Don Lemon is a piece of shit. And here's this guy saying, Don Lemon is a shitty journalist. Look, let me say this, and I'm going to say this with my chest out. Don Lemon is not a credible journalist. He's not, I'm going to repeat it. Don Lemon is not a credible journalist. For me, he has lost every credibility of me even calling him a journalist. This man is a content creator. Don Lemon is now a content creator. Ever since he got fired from CNN, he's been doing crappy interviews. He's just not the same. He chases these liberal stories to put misinformation out there and feed poison to the people who are watching him. Now let me get to what I wanted to get to earlier in this video. I'm going to show y'all something. So here, I asked this question to Google. I said, are churches considered private properties? Google said churches are considered private property owned by religious organizations, congregations, or denominations, not government. While they're open to the public for services, owners retain the rights. Y'all listen carefully now. Owners retain the right to restrict access. So even though you can publicly go in there and worship or whatnot, the owners of the property, they retain the right to restrict access, set rules, or remove individuals as entering without permission can be considered, keyword, trespassing. Don Lemon and those protesters were trespassing on private property, y'all. Private property. And let me go back to say this right here, right? They had the right to remove individuals. Guess what? They continuously asked those people, including Don Lemon, to leave the church, and they remained in there. So at this point, the church had all rights to call authorities. It's a private property. Don Lemon going into the church, reporting what he knew beforehand, because he said it in the video. He said, oh, this is a private gathering and only certain people knew about it. He said that out of his own mouth.
This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out.
Which means he knew it beforehand, what was going to happen, the location. He should have called the cops. Or, better yet, Don Lemon, you should have stayed your behind outside on the sidewalk. And you know what? You would have never been in the situation that you're in right now. The man who loved to chase the stories has now become the story.